So I've been having some trouble recording today, so this is my third attempt to record this today. I know that I don't have to record all the time, but um I do have a lot of topics to cover. I mean, it all boils down to a lot of similar themes, but basically this is my third attempt to record this today, so I don't know how long it'll be. It'll probably be shorter than what I was originally planning on saying. But basically, what I would say, what it really comes down to is, as with many, 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 many things, you will get out of a spirit guide relationship what you put into it. I mean, in order for me to develop my relationship with my spirit guides, I was literally thinking about it nonstop for maybe before I even really made that much contact, like reliable contact. I was probably thinking about it pretty much every day for 20 years and not making necessarily progress. I had an NDE. I made instant progress. I'm not recommending an NDE for anyone. It was the hardest thing I've ever gone through. So, but ultimately we get out of things what we put into them. At that, once I made contact, I wanted to know everything. I wanted to have major two-way conversations. I wanted to know what was their life like over there. What were their feelings like? And I started feeling their feelings. Which is clairsentience. It does work in mediumship. It works with animals. It can work with rocks. It can work with trees. Which I definitely am making another video about that, because that's all frequency, and I will make a video about frequency. And when I say to myself I'm going to make another video about that, I'm like keeping a note to myself that I will do that. But it's really what I'm gonna definitely review a few books and let you know which ones go deeper and which ones will actually might help you figure out how to have a two-way conversation. And once you're having a two-way conversation, you build on that every single day. Well, you can build on that every single day. And then, and this was not really the topic that I was going to cover today. But, like I said, I had technical difficulties, so I believe that I will just cover the other topic on another day, maybe even this week. At some point I will be slowing down, because I do have pending things that just haven't happened yet. I have a lot going on this week, actually, so this might be my one video of the week. And I hope, it gives you some perspective that, a two-way conversation with your spirit guide is possible. Everyone does it a little bit differently. And that's all okay. But you can establish, an actual back and forth, which is what I wanted, and I worked really hard on it, and that's why I have it. There was a lot of time that I didn't have it, but it was like an abiding love of mine, where I was like, this is what I want. This is really, really, really what I want. And it developed. And that's why that's the topic of my channel, rather than necessarily any other kind of mediumship, because I do still think of it as a kind of mediumship. And when I do the video on frequency, I'll explain more of why I feel that way. And I would have done a longer video today, except that I really had technical difficulties. I think that my team honestly really wanted me to just eat and rest because there's been a lot happening behind the scenes. So I'm hoping this is my one video of this week. And if you missed my video on my NDE, there is now a full video that tells the whole story. There are like tiny, tiny things that I realize now I might have maybe not mentioned. That was my first time ever telling the full story. So if you're interested in my near-death experience, I will leave a link to that for you. And I will have a longer video the next time that I record. I still have so many topics, and I want to do the short spirit guide questions. Also, I have a lot of plans for the channel, and I'm probably recording too many things too fast, but that's because I know, like, definitely in April or at some point when I have to go do some other commitments, I'm going to be slowing down. But I want to give as much content and as much value as I can. It really helps me because this is my life's work, and I've always wanted to be able to talk about this and get this information out there into the world. And so it helps me, and I hope it helps, someone. Okay, well, that's my third attempt at this video, and I will have some more topics on another day, probably next week.